sure also that Thing in the Ice has Defender, so he couldn't do something tricky like
Does it?
attack. Oh, I guess we're gonna find out.
Does it? Does it have Defender?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it does.
All right, well, we'll see.
Thing in the Ice can get in there, I think. You know, have you ever put a Griff Spoon on it in Limited?
I have not.
Well,
I
to-do list.
Certainly something to think about.
To-do list.
Absolutely. Thing in the Ice has Defender.
It does. All right. Well,
all right. So
maybe not.
That's not. Yeah, we're not going to be getting cute.
Maybe not Griff Spoon.
Because certainly I've seen that happen with Spellskite, for example.
Oh,
a lot of the Affinity decks will get in with Spellskite and then like randomly equip it with.
Yeah.
With
in the Abzan Company deck I play, you know, if you go like Noble Hierarch into Spellskite.
Yeah.
Turn
absolutely.
3, that's a Spellskite attack.
Yeah, that's
an
happening.
attack with Spellskite.
Yeah.
You know, that's
man,
happening.
He's literally not doing anything else.
No.
Ooh, starting with Leyline in play. I wonder, is this for like the burn spells? I'm guessing, yeah. It looks like that's what's going on with Herald's deck. I guess we should have talked about this, but he's got 4 Thing in the Ice, 4 Storm Chaser Maids,
it's kind of a burn
and
deck
4 Monastery Swifts here.
with
So it's
Storm Chaser and
and
Thing in the Ice.
his burned is Lightning Bolt, Browbeat. Interesting choice.
Is this a Delver of Secrets deck?
It is not a Delver of Secrets deck. It is basically just red. He's also got 3 Vexing Devil to round out the creature suite. But Browbeat, Lava Spike.
Here we go, namesake of the deck. Lantern of Insight on turn 1 here for Ammi.
Alright.
Now, I'll be honest, Lantern has a place in my heart. I played this deck for a few months, and I think the deck is actually very strong.
I also think it's very strong.
However, it's very dependent on its draw. It doesn't have too many ways to fix its draw outside of Ancient Stirrings. And so, if he doesn't draw an Lantern or doesn't draw a bridge in the top 10, 12 cards, sometimes it's difficult to stabilize and then control the game from there.
Fair enough.
Herald, second Swift Spear. I wonder if Ammi has Pyroclasm or anything in his board. Looks like... Wow, looks like Ammi has Gifts Ungiven, Iona, Unburial Rights in his board.
What?
Yeah.
That's spicy. I mean, that's a lot of hate for a red deck almost.
Yeah.
Like, he has Leylines and Iona?
Well, I don't think we'll see that here.
I don't think so either.
That plan is probably too slow against the
pretty
aggressive
interesting.
deck. Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So, that Leyline is going to be there the entire game. Herald has nothing in the sideboard for this.
Sure, and it looks like Herald's hand has at least a couple Rift Bolts. I can't really tell the last card on the left, but it looks like the middle cards might be Rift Bolts in Herald's hand, as well as a Mountain. So these Swift Spears are going to have to do some heavy lifting. It's interesting, you can actually make plays like Rift Bolt yourself in order to grow the Swift Spears a little bit. Like that's worth 2 damage to Ammi.
Yeah.
If he's willing to pull the trigger on that.
It's fairly reasonable. I don't know if Herald's going to go for the line necessarily, but, I mean, there's worse things.
There are. And it looks like Ammi's setting up camp here. He's resolving an Ancient Stirrings currently. He's got a mill card, a mill artifact, in addition to the Lantern, and the Leyline is providing some defense.
Yeah,
this is a pretty good start.
Yeah, just digging his heels in. At this point, it's just about kind of picking and choosing your battles. That's the hardest part about playing Lantern Control, is, I mean, you can presumably know whether a card is good on the top or not, but you can't just, like, always control it, right? Especially with just one mill artifact out.
Yep, he's going to be trying to find more mill pieces and possibly have an Ensnaring Bridge at some point. Those are priorities 1 and 2 here. Herald needs to reveal the top card.
There we go. That is a...
Reforge the Soul.
Reforge of the Soul. That actually is pretty decent against Ensnaring Bridge.
Yes, actually, that's that's tech. I guess the Thing in the Ice can get in if you cast Reforge the Soul that turn to flip it.
Definitely. So, not out of the woods yet.
No,
but
he still has to find an answer to the board. He will lose to these Swift Spears eventually if he doesn't find a bridge or doesn't find a sweeper, but it doesn't look like you have access to any sweepers. No Kozilek's Return, which is a card that people talked about including in Lantern Control just because you can find it off Ancient Stirrings.
All right,
being
so Skullcrack gets through. We're taking 7 this turn. Ammi down to 10.
Well, the Skullcrack couldn't... does it target Skullcrack?
It does not.
Targets.
I think it says opponent.
Really?
Oh, actually, no. Maybe you're right.
I think it targets.
I think it does target. So how does that work?
I think he might have targeted himself.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
I think so. That's his only option here. It looks like he's suspended the Rift Bolt, probably going to burn himself again.
I guess I underestimate him. I guess he's just going to go for it. What can you do, right?
Yeah, if the bridge, or if the Leyline is going to be here to stay, you got to do what you got to do.
It's true. So this Reforge the Soul, I mean, does Ammi let it happen? How bad do you think his hand is?
It depends, yeah. If he doesn't have a bridge and doesn't have an answer to the Swift Spears, maybe he just lets it happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I think just let it... Oh, yeah. So I guess answering the question, Ammi's just going to say, no, I don't want to deal with it.
Rift Bolt, you can have that one.
Yeah, I imagine. At the same time, like, cracking a Lantern of Insight here when he's at 13, and this is still, like, fairly reasonable. I mean, he's got Leyline out, he's got some turns.
Cracking Lantern?
Yeah, to make him shuffle a Rift Bolt. Like, yeah, you'll let him have the Rift Bolt, right?
No, for sure, yeah. The Rift Bolt represents a shock for 3 mana or, delayed a turn, which is fine, but looks like he's going to go ahead and reset the top of his library. dig a little deeper toward a thing. I believe he has a spell scat in hand from the previous.
He does, so he's going to be able to stabilize the board a little bit better. Mox Opal is the find with Ancient Stirrings.
Yep. He's going to go ahead and
another
set up
Mox
camp.
Opal on top, so he's probably going to mill that. No, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, he has the bridge
With
down to one card.
So this is actually pretty awkward with the Rift Bolt being a sorcery. So Herald is going to cast the Rift Bolt. He's going to target himself most likely, and then not be able to attack.
Removing the counter is actually a May.
I don't think it's a May. I think it's a trigger that you can miss, but your opponent can put it on the stack if they want to, and I'm sure that would be in Herald's best interest.
Or is it a May to cast it?
It's a May to cast.
That's what it. I think it's a May to cast.
So neither. If you suspend it, yeah, you have to cast it. Cascade is a May. If you cascade into a spell.
Right. Okay.
Just because there's always the option that you hit a
Herald
removal
with
spell.
With the Mana League?
Yeah.
Too little, too late for that. That would have been nice to have the previous turn.
To get this bridge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Herald does have some Swift Spears, and currently Ammi has one card in hand, but I think it's a spell sky, and it's going to get.
He's probably going to mill this Mox Opal off the top of his library, right?
I wouldn't.
With its Snaring Bridge?
Yeah, but if you draw a 3-drop off this, then the Swift Spears can suddenly attack. I think just taking the hit, playing the Mox Opal,
fair enough.
Sacking it is going to be the safe play, and that's what he likes to do.
Yeah, go to 0. Okay.
Go to 0.
Yeah, like this is
because he only has one way to control the top. If there was a 3-drop or even a 2-drop, or I guess not 2-drop because of the Opal, but a 3 or 4-drop on top, he's just stuck. What if there's like a Leyline of Sanctity on top?
Thinking the guy's not going to do it here. Too little, too late, probably.
Yeah. There's only one mill artifact, which means if Herald has a couple strong draws in a row, he could potentially get out of this, but Ammi's going to have so much control over what they both draw.
Draws an Abrupt Decay. Gifts Ungiven, so it did come in. So what is the package?
It's Iona. He doesn't have anything else to really give.
I mean, the other thing, too, is Iona ends this game in a hurry. Herald's at 14.
I mean, Herald does have, like, Vapor Snag type cards, but I can't imagine they're still in the deck.
No, not against this. And he can't know that there's an Iona waiting in the wings, right?
Yeah, this is not a typical sideboard package for Lantern.
Interestingly enough, Herald does have the Mana Leak, right? So this gifts, A, the gifts isn't safe, and B, even if he lets the gifts resolve, the Unburial Rites isn't safe.
Sure.
So...
but Ammi knows about this Mana Leak.
Sure. Alright, just trying to clear the board. Also doesn't want a card in his hand, obviously, so... Herald passes the turn.
Yep, this is the
casting a thing in the ice seems very bad here. When the Herald can see Gifts Ungiven, so he just passes the turn. There's the Unburial Rites anyways, so I think the jig is up.
I think so.
This is a remarkably fast game 2 for Lantern, though.
Well, I think he just assembled the soft lock pretty quickly. Like, he has the ley line to prevent the burn, and he's got the Ensnaring Bridge to prevent the creatures. There's really not too many ways Herald can get out of this. He needs to draw, like I said, a string of good cards in a row, like multiple shattering...
Smash Smithereens
cards. Or
yeah, definitely.
It depends what exactly his artifact hate is in the board.
What is Herald doing? That is a Sorcery Herald. I just want everyone to know.
This is probably post-combat to kill the spell.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Yep, spell guy down.
Ammi's not upset about it, to be honest. So, we're definitely gonna see this gifts happen. But I'm curious. Yeah, so Herald, because that seems very unfortunate. Like, knowing that he drew Gifts Ungiven, yeah, that seems really unfortunate.
I feel like you have to counter this, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you, let's say he doesn't go for some Unburial Rites combo and just gets 4 cards, then you feel kind of silly not mana leaking, because then there's 2 cards in his hand that he wants.
That's true, too.
So I feel like, you just have to mana leak this.
Just don't give him the choice. So
and this Unburial Rites on top is certainly...
dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
So unless he wants to get that Spellskite back, right?
Yeah, but, so there's a chance he's probably going to mill himself here to get that Unburial Rites off.
Yeah, clear it off the top.
But if there's like an Iona under it, then maybe this Iona could get stuck in his hand, and this Ensnaring Bridge is going to be a little worse.
That's true too.
There are circumstances in which this game goes poorly for Ammi, but currently winning for sure.
It's hard to imagine it at this board state, just because, I mean, what he really needs is just needs more mill artifacts.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, and don't forget, even if it is an Iona underneath, he could, if he needed to, shuffle it. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think Herald's best out is to keep shuffling until the timer elapses.
Yeah.
Oh no, he decides to go a different way.
Oh, Herald.
Granted, he's down a game, so that also would not be.
It's not a winning strategy.
Advisable.
I agree.
Skullcrack, that represents nothing. Potentially stop some life gain down the road, but
if this is Iona on the top, I'd be really
no. I mean,
Tendo Ice Bridge.
Yeah,
okay.
that's a very corner case, but it is something that could happen. Like Ensnaring Bridge.
I mean, we saw the Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, like just seeing the Unburial Rites. Like, come on.
Yeah. You know, there are dead cards in Ammi's deck now that he boarded in the Umbrella Rights and the Iona.
Mm-hmm. So Herald is in. This is kind of one of those. Oh, okay. Here we go. So Umbrella Rights is off if Ammi lets him draw the Surgical Extraction. Although Surgical Extraction seems like somewhat of a poor choice. It as a sideboard option.
I mean, it depends. If he's trying to make him discard a bridge and he can somehow get all the bridges out of the deck, creatures become a very viable strategy.
That's true.
And same thing with Lantern. Like, if this deck doesn't have access to a Lantern,
it's much weaker.
Yeah, it's the mill artifacts just don't do anything. They just kind of fuel the, fuel the graveyard elements of the deck. But that's it. They can't control draw steps.
That's true. Do you want this Welding Jar on top if you're Ammi?
No,
probably not.
And if
right?
Herald doesn't have anything threatening, I would mill it.
Okay, well,
He
takes it.
not.
I guess it's to protect the bridge. You've only got one.
That's fair, but I mean, I feel like he's got the soft lock. He can pretty much know that Herald doesn't have anything strong in hand.
That was more my concern. It's like, you know Herald has nothing, and you...
I would be more aggressive with this milling on myself, trying to find...
me too.
Just trying to find more mill pieces.
On my upkeep, I'd probably hit that. You don't need a second one. Or I guess you might want a second one.
I wouldn't do it at upkeep, because you always want to have two activations at the ready for Herald's deck.
That's right, that's right.
Because then if you... Let's say you do that, and Herald has a good card on top, then you mill it on your turn when you untap. If he has another good card on top, you've suddenly got this awkward spot where you let him draw a card when you could have prevented it.
Mm-hmm. So 2 Ensnaring Bridge is going to spell certain death for Herald. I don't, like, on top of, just because he has one, Pact Invocation.
Do you think you let him draw that?
I think you let him draw that.
I think he can pay for it. It's a hard counter.
It is a hard counter. I wish you could just pay for it up front.
I wish Herald had played this thing in the ice and flipped it and Spellskite stayed in play. That would have been great.
Yeah, that interaction. That is a horror, by the way.
Spellskite is a horror. Yeah. Clearly, you just look at that thing.
I mean, Delver on the new Aberrant Researcher is a horror.
Is
as well, but
is Aberrant Abomination a horror?
Is not.
It is not.
No, it's an insect human.
Because it's pretty horrific.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, there we go. There's Smash to Smithereens.
No smash for you.
Getting milled here. And if Herald has a good card here, he does not. I was going to say, if he has a good card here, then Omni might be priced into sacking one of these Lanterns to make him shuffle his library.
Herald drawing actually nothing but land. This is
lands, lava spikes, and
this is an unfortunate state of the format. This land control deck is great, but it is not as entertaining to watch necessarily. But the gifts package was kind of cool, even though it didn't go off.
Yeah, I mean it sucks to kind of watch when they're closing the game. I think the beginning terms of the games are interesting, thinking how to sequence, what to find, and because Lantern is basically plan A, you have to stabilize.
Yeah,
and then plan B, you have to assemble the lock.
Figure out a way not to die.
And then plan C is win.
Plan C is win.
Plan C is win.
So we're not. Are we in Plan C? I think we're in Plan C.
I mean, it's hard to tell. He's not being too aggressive with his Codex Shredder. Like, he let himself draw land when he knows Herald is going to draw a Scalding Tarn. I don't think he's in Plan C. I think he's still trying to stabilize.
Fair enough. Yeah, see, so like this Monoleak on top of Herald's library, like not letting him have the Monoleak seems very kind of awkward, to be honest. Like, I don't, like, he has enough mana to kind of force through whatever he wants, right?
And he doesn't care if his spells get countered. Like, remand is more of a problem than Mana Leak, because let's say you draw a 3-drop, trying to play, it gets remanded, maybe you can't redeploy it and you have an extra card in hand for the bridge.
Yeah.
But Mana Leak, just 1-for-1ing and sending it to the graveyard, not much of a problem.
No.
Alright, second Codex Shredder, I think is going to all but lock this up.
Yeah.
Now he's got so much control over the libraries. He's got 2 Shredders, 2 Lanterns.
Well,
in addition, some Welding Jars to make sure that these pieces stick around.
Yeah. If I know anything about Herald, this is not game over. Herald will play till the bitter end. He's going to make Ammi earn it.
Well, that's what a treat for all of us.
We're going to be in this for the long run.
I suppose so.
Let's see.
Does Ammi have anything relevant to get from his graveyard with the Codex Shredder? I don't believe we've seen anything in terms of win condition.
No, not that I've seen. Does he have, I'm sure he has the Aether Grid? He's got to have that, right?
I didn't see it. Let's take a look one more time.
Aether Grid?
Nope.
That seems like such a staple in that deck now.
It is. I mean, the deck originally didn't have it, so clearly the deck can win a GP without it. Like, that's been proven. But I think it is just a faster way to close games.
Oh, Infernal Tutor.
All right, cool. I think we'll find out exactly what Ammi's going to win the game with as soon as Infernal Tutor resolves, because that's going to...
That's happening.
That's going to find whatever card he wants from his deck, and I'm assuming it's going to be a win condition.
It did take quite a few turns to get there, but yeah, I think that's what we're going to see as well. So the thing in the ice, interestingly enough...
It's too bad it has Defender. Because if it did not have defender, then we could be in for
Yeah, we could
an attack and
yeah.
then a flip, and then proceed from there.
But then he'd still need another thing in the ice, right? What?
Ammi does not want Infernal Tutor. That's got to
But-
be the best card in his deck, right?
That's what I was just thinking.
It represents the best card in his deck for sure.
I am very confused, but he draws the gifts ungiven, with a second on the third one actually on the top.
Yeah.
So I wonder what he's trying to do. You think he's just really trying to get the Iona just to really lock this up? Like, there's like no way the Herald could come back from it.
I suppose.
So I think there is one piece of permission in Herald's hand.
But it's not that Pact of Negation. He did not let him have that.
No. Oh, okay. So I guess he doesn't
He
have.
might have like a mana leak.
Yeah, but he can't pay. Ammi wouldn't be able to pay for money, so it's not Manlink. So maybe I'm mistaken. That blue card was just thing in the ice.
Mm.
So it's like it looks like Iona's gonna go to the bin here, and
In Leyline of
a
Sanctity.
ley line. Yeah, just because.
Oh, just because it's a card you don't want to draw.
Hmm.
That's a classic thing you can do with gifts. If you already have one of the pieces in the graveyard,
Yeah.
just get a card you don't want to draw. You're going to put it both in the graveyard anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
Thin your deck, take a Leyline out of it that's going to be pretty poor past the turn 0.
Yeah, and
Oh, he goes with Inquisition. Does not want to draw Inquisition and Iona.
okay. So Harold's probably gonna have a question about this, and it is a non-intuitive interaction.
Yeah, because you're searching a not public information zone
Yes.
in the library, you can fail to find anything. And because
Yes.
GIF says, it does say search for 4, it doesn't say up to 4,
Yes.
but you can fail to find just because it's hidden information.
Hmm. Yeah, that again, that's like a very. That's not on the card's printed value.
No, certainly probably this was not the intent for Gifts Ungiven. It was probably meant as just a value card.
Absolutely. I mean, it is one of the most of a skill-intensive cards in Magic to begin with, but even so, this definitely seems outside of what it's supposed to be
Do you
doing.
think it's? I was gonna say, do you think it's Iona or Spellskite? But it looks like Iona. Here.
I don't have to worry. I have to wonder about that one. So here's the interesting thing: the thing in the ice does represent a bounce. So it doesn't like this Iona
Well,
may not
Harold's
actually.
got to play 4 spells of a color that's not named with Iona in order to flip it. And if he's been keeping tabs, he can probably presume that his Harold's entire hand is red cards.
All red, but
Yeah.
I mean Harold can't do anything here, right? Like he's just gonna bolt himself a couple times.
It's possible that he just fires off 3 red cards in order to.
That's a sorcery.
That is a sorcery.
I hope. I hope they don't let that resolve. Can we talk about that? All right. Well, it's happening.
Harold's also got to be careful of
It looks like
putting himself dead to this Iona on one attack. Because he doesn't have many targets. I guess he's got the Spellskite in play.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, there's no way. Iona's gonna resolve. He's gonna name red. Also missing his triggers, but that.
Well, we gotta.
That's
this
a bit
Rift Bolt.
unfortunate, yeah.
These Rift Bolts, they've got to catch that, right? Is there a way we can intervene? He can't cast that Rift Bolt.
Yeah, I guess.
That's not a legal play he can make here.
I will see if I can get in touch with someone really fast.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like he's going to go down to 1 counter on Thing of the Ice, just so if he is ever allowed to draw a blue instant or sorcery, he can go ahead and flip Iona, or back to the hand of Ammi.
But I don't think there's any that are non-reactive.
I also don't think that Ammi would let him have it. He's got 3
That's true.
Kodak
Oh,
Treasures
beyond
in play.
besides the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, Fetchline kind of helps, but not spectacularly, right?
No, especially not with 3 mill artifacts. Harold looking to draw 3 blue cards in a row, which is going to be
Oh
a
no,
pretty
he's
tall order.
still casting spells.
Maybe he's going to try and send things back to the yard before Iona resolves. Because Iona's not an ETB trigger. It's as you cast
It's
her.
as you cast it. Yeah.
Exactly. If it were an ETB trigger, Harold could potentially just bolt her 3 times. But
That's true.
that is not legal.
I mean, at least they thought about that much when they made the card.
Yeah, exactly. Because that would be pretty unfortunate. Your opponent has like a Doomblade, and you're like,
Yeah, you're like,
all right, Iona enters. Before you name a color, Doomblader. Like, what are you really accomplishing with this 9
exactly.
drop?
With his 9 mana 9/9, or is it in?
7/7.
It's a 7/7.
It's a 9 mana 7/7.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. So
I have played with Iona a lot. One of my first modern decks was Blue White Tron with the Gifts Ungiven package.
right.
Iona is good.
You know, it's interesting. I actually heard some people while we were getting ready for the tournament talk about the state of Tron right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, yeah, it's just completely neutered. Like it's almost unplayable because it doesn't have Eye of Ugin. And I don't know. I would tend to disagree just a little bit. I certainly think you have to be a little more conscientious of your deck building. Like you can't just fill it with air as much as you used to.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a reasonable deck.
It's hard to say. I mean, I haven't played much with the deck.
What is this, Browbeat? Okay.
It's Browbeat.
Yeah, it is Browbeat.
That's pretty sweet.
Okay.
I can't read what Iona named. Do you think it named black to stop the surgical extraction?
No, I can't imagine, but it might be. It might be on Ammi's mind. There's a lot of cards in the graveyard.
Yeah,
so
that's for sure.
he's definitely thinking about it. I mean, what if he gets his Infernal Tutor?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are black spells in Ammi's deck.
That would be really unfortunate. So it looks like this Inquisition is, well, we're not getting in with... Oh, yeah, we can't, right?
Nope.
Because
Ensnaring Bridge is
Ensnaring
going to
Bridge?
stop that attack, yeah. So this Iona is a win condition in the sense that Herald can't ever cast anything,
Yeah.
but not in the sense that it can actually kill Herald.
But Herald's going to keep trucking through, looks like.
Well, what else are you going to do?
I suppose that's...
He's already down a game. It's not like he's going to save time by going to a third game.
Yeah, that's true. Electra...
Storm Chaser
Mage on the top. Oh, man.
So, again, I'm not sure why Ammi's not being aggressive with his Codex Shredders. He can control the top of his library very well with it.
Ooh, a Vapor Snag.
Herald left in a Vapor Snag. Okay. What are the odds that he gets to resolve that? Okay.
Nope. But, you know, I don't know. Probably still not going to be able to keep it on top, but Herald does also have access to 2 Snapcaster Mages on the board, so there's a slim chance, like, of almost 0.
Yeah, no, it's... With the 3 Codex Shredders, I'm gonna go ahead and say 0. That, you know, unless Ammi makes some sort of horrific mistake, there's no way he loses.
I will say that, like, Ammi has been playing fairly well. I don't think there are any mistakes to be had quite yet.
I just think I would be aggressive with these Shredders. I don't know why he's letting himself draw lands here. He can mill the land, mill the Inquisition, find whatever card wins him the game.
True.
Or be aggressive and mill Herald. Either way. He just needs to work towards something. He's not working toward anything. Okay, here we go.
Is this what he was looking for?
It's possible. Now he's
It
an
can't be,
Academy of
but he
Runes
doesn't
away
have yeah, but he
from
doesn't
winning
have the
game.
Academy of Runes. Like,
It's true, but that represents a win if he can now find Academy Runes.
so
And looking at his deck, I think that is the win. Other than milling
Actually,
Herald, he's got a Pyrite Spellbomb him out.
Herald's at 7 now. Does Ensnaring Bridge? How does? I guess I have to.
Ensnaring Bridge's cards in your hand.
Yeah,
So
only in your hand.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
Ammi's hand is
There's no way.
going to be
okay.
empty the entire game.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought it might like be some kind of like symmetrical, like, oh, if Herald has that many cards, I can attack him. Okay.
No.
Oh, there she have. So Ammi
Continuing to let himself draw lands, which I don't see the point in. I guess maybe if Iona ever gets bounced, he can replay her. He currently does have triple white.
another Gifts Ungiven, which probably has 0 targets at this point. Although he could get Academy Runes, right? But I doubt Herald will let him have it.
Yeah, I don't think... There's no recursion package where if he gets Academy Runes and Herald says go to the graveyard, I don't think he has a way to get it. He does have 2 in the deck, hasn't seen any yet. And then again, he does have the Codex Shredder. So actually, the Gifts Ungiven for anything
can put
can
it
just
on top.
be... Yeah, can Codex Shredder
It's a
can just
tutor.
get it.
Yeah.
Codex Shredder having the other ability, you could pay 5 sacrifice to return a card from your graveyard to your hand.
I mean, actually, if that's the case, he actually should have put the Infernal Tutor on top and then just searched for... Oh, but you have 2 cards, I guess. Oh, no, you'd have 1 card. But yeah, then you can just search for the Academy Runes, right?
He's not interested in this gifts. He will draw this 4th Codex Shredder, however.
Though, probably one he won't use for a while, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how he won game 1, whether he milled Herald or killed him with the spell bomb.
Herald,
Either way,
yeah, I was gonna say
Herald's
just
had enough.
just talking him through it. He's like, I know what's happening. So
had enough. Yeah.
that is, I mean, well, that's that. That's a pretty quick game 2 for. I mean, in terms
Quick.
of Lantern, and
Quick.
for Lantern, that seemed pretty quick, to be honest.
That's a tall ward.
It's
Quick?
Actually, it's kind of short. It's 1 syllable.
Well.